Maybe you love God, but when you look at your day, He always ends up last. You wake up and grab your phone before you even say good morning to Him. You make plans, solve problems, and chase your goals without thinking about what He might want. At night, you feel that little voice inside saying you forgot about Him again. And tomorrow comes, and the same thing happens all over again. You're not a bad person, and you know that. You just got caught up in everything that seems more urgent right now. Work needs your attention, bills need to get paid, people need answers from you. God feels important, but somehow everything else feels more pressing in the moment. You tell yourself you'll pray later, read your Bible this weekend, or get serious about faith next month. But deep down, you know something's not right. There's this quiet feeling that you're missing what really matters while chasing everything else. You see other people who seem so close to God, and you wonder why it's so hard for you. Maybe you think you're just not spiritual enough, or that God is disappointed in you. If this message is already speaking to you right from the start, hit that like button. That helps this message reach more people who are also struggling on the inside. Because you're not alone in this, and maybe someone else needs to hear this too. You really do want to seek God more. You've made promises to yourself before about starting fresh with Him. Maybe you said you'd wake up early to pray, or finally finish reading that Bible you got last year. But then life happens, and those promises just fade away like morning fog. Your phone pulls you in 100 different directions every single day. Messages pop up, videos start playing, and suddenly an hour is gone and you didn't even notice. Work stress fills your mind until there's no room left for anything peaceful. Your worries about money, health, relationships, or the future take up all the space in your thoughts. You want to pray, but when you finally have a quiet moment, you're too tired. You want to read the Bible, but you don't know where to start or what it means. You want to feel close to God, but you're not sure how to get there from where you are now. It's like wanting to visit someone but not knowing the way to their house. And if you want to walk closer to God every single day, subscribe to this channel. Because here you'll get messages to strengthen your faith and remind you that you're not walking this road alone. Here's something that might surprise you. God isn't looking for a perfect schedule from you. He's not up there with a checklist, marking you down every time you mess up. What He really wants is a heart that genuinely wants to turn back to Him, even after getting lost. Think about it this way. A good father doesn't love his child less when they fall down learning to walk. He reaches out to help them up and keeps believing they'll make it. God sees you trying, even when you feel like you're failing. He knows your heart better than you know it yourself. God didn't give up on you when you put so many things before Him. He didn't walk away when you got distracted or when you chose comfort over His call. He's been right there, patiently waiting, like someone holding a door open for you even though you're taking your time to walk through it. If you believe that God is still calling you, leave a like as a small sign of faith. Because that little action says you're still listening, even if you haven't figured everything out yet. Putting God first doesn't start with big promises or dramatic changes. It starts with tiny decisions you make throughout your normal day. It's simpler than you think, but it does require you to be intentional about it. Before you pick up your phone in the morning, try saying good morning to God first. Before you make a big decision, take a moment to ask Him for direction. Before you let worry take over your mind, stop and pray about it instead. These small moments add up to something much bigger over time. You don't have to become a different person overnight. You just have to start choosing God in the small spaces of your day. When you're in traffic, talk to Him instead of just listening to music. When you're stressed, remember to breathe and ask Him for peace before you react. Every single choice to turn toward God instead of away from Him is a victory. Even if it's just for 30 seconds, even if it's just one prayer, even if it's just remembering He's there. Those moments are like drops of water that eventually fill up a whole bucket. Take a second and think honestly about what's been taking God's place in your life. Maybe it's fear that controls your decisions more than faith does. Maybe it's money and the constant worry about having enough or making more. Maybe it's a relationship that you've turned into your whole world. Or maybe it's a habit you know isn't good for you but you can't seem to let go. Maybe it's the need to control everything because you're scared of what happens if you don't. Maybe it's just being so busy that you've convinced yourself you don't have time for God. Whatever it is, it's okay to admit it. God already knows anyway. He's not shocked by what you're going to tell Him. He's just waiting for you to be honest about it so he can help you with it. If you feel like you need to reorganize your life with God at the center, subscribe now. This might be the first practical decision you make to bring God closer to the middle of your daily routine instead of leaving him at the edges. Think about everything God has already done for you. He gave you another morning when you didn't deserve it. He made a way when you thought you were stuck forever. He forgave you for things you're still ashamed of, things nobody else even knows about. He's been patient with you on days when you completely ignored him. He sent help right when you needed it, sometimes through people who didn't even know they were answering your silent prayers. He's given you chances to start over more times than you can count. After all God has done for you, maybe the next step isn't asking for more. Maybe it's about giving more of yourself back to him. Not because you owe him, but because love responds to love. When someone's been that good to you, your heart naturally wants to move closer to them. If God has been patient with you in moments that nobody else saw, leave a like on this message. Let that be your way of saying thank you for his patience when you didn't even realize he was being patient. Let me give you some simple steps you can actually do starting tomorrow. First, begin your day by talking to God before you do anything else. It doesn't have to be fancy words. Just say good morning and thank him for the new day he gave you. Second, set aside just a few minutes to pray. Maybe it's 5 minutes, maybe it's 2. Don't worry about how long, just make it consistent. Talk to God like you'd talk to someone who actually cares about everything you're going through, because he does. Third, read a little bit from the Bible. Even one verse counts. Start with simple parts like Psalms where people are just being real with God about their feelings. You don't have to understand everything perfectly. Just read and let God speak to you through it. Fourth, before you make decisions today, stop and ask God about them first. Should you send that message? Should you say yes to that opportunity? Should you buy that thing? Just pause and invite him into your choices before you make them. Fifth, take something out of the center of your life that's been dominating your heart. Make room for God by moving other things to the side. Life starts to change when God moves from last place back to first. It doesn't happen all at once like magic, but you begin to notice things shifting. The worry that used to keep you up at night doesn't have the same power anymore. Your choices become clearer because you're not just guessing what to do. You have guidance from someone who sees the whole picture when you only see today. Your heart feels more steady, less shaky, because it's resting on something solid instead of constantly shifting sand. You stop just reacting to every problem that comes your way. You start responding with peace because you know you're not handling life alone anymore. The things that used to throw you off balance don't control you the same way they did before. If this message is touching you right now, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Maybe God is using these words to call you back to where you belong. And maybe your response to this message is actually your response to him. Today, you don't need to promise that you'll never mess up again. You don't need to make huge commitments that you're not sure you can keep. You just need to say something simple and honest. God, I want to put you back in the right place. That's it. Just tell him you want to try again. Tell him you're tired of putting everything else first. Tell him you need his help because you can't do this on your own, and you're done pretending you can. This is your moment to make a simple decision that could change everything. Not because you're perfect, but because you're willing. Not because you have it all figured out, but because you're ready to let him lead. If you want to put God first in your life, subscribe to this channel, leave a like, and comment. God comes first. Let that be your declaration today, your first step, your way of saying yes to what he's been asking from you all along.